Once again, I got number 20, which is Egypt, and I am coming up against 2 plus 2 minus 3, commanding Rome. Now, coming up against 2 plus 2 minus 3, I am expecting some kind of spam. In this case, Principe spam. It's always interesting to see what 2 plus 2 minus 3 has cooked up to spam each time I'm facing him. I've faced him several times before, 4 times I believe, and this will be the 5th, so we do bump into each other quite a lot in quick battles. My build here consists of 6 thorax swords, 6 Levi Thurio spears, or 5 Levi Thurio spears, yep, 5 Levi Thurio spears, 2 Galatian swords, 2 citizen cavalry, and 3 mercenary Rhodian slingers. Now, my one edge over this Roman army is this African war elephant. I could have gone for chariot instead. That would have made this way too easy. So, 2 Hastati, whole bunch of Principe. He has a total of 9 Principe. 3 auxiliary Syrian archers, 2 auxiliary infantry, 2 auxiliary cavalry, and a general and bodyguard. Now, I am a bit surprised here because we've started the game and 2 plus 2 minus 3 hasn't insulted me in some way, so I'm kind of worried, wondering if he's alright or if something bad happened. But we'll see. I'm sure the insults will start soon enough. Now, the plan here is basically to take on his infantry line head on, hold with my thorax swords, and bring in supporting fire with the Levi Thurio spears. The elephants are going to be conserved until it's safe to use them. That's the plan, at least. So I want to send some citizen cavalry over here to scout the woods, but now I see that he's bringing his units out of the woods, so alright, that's fine. We are about equally matched in skirmishing capabilities, so I'm quite happy with taking the engagement. My Balearics should be able to do slightly better than his auxiliary Syrian archers, because his auxiliary Syrian archers are shooting 6 shots per minute, they don't have shields. My Balearic slingers are shooting 8 shots per minute, have a higher armor penetration, although their total damage is lower. So I usually find that the Balearics come out on top against auxiliary Syrian archers, although the Syrian archers are very good. Fairly equally matched. We have the same amount of infantry, although 2 plus 2 minus 3's infantry is decidedly stronger than mine is. I have 6 of these good sword units. He has 9 plus 2 plus 3 Hastati actually. So the Hastati are decent sword infantry, but not really great. So he's going to try to push up with his auxiliary cavalry to catch some of my slingers. I'm just going to pull them back and start throwing javelins at his auxiliary cavalry, which is going to start losing a few of those. I'm winning the skirmish engagement here because I am focusing fire on this one unit. I'm hardly taking casualties on my mercenary Rhodian slingers in comparison. And so 2 plus 2 minus 3 decides he wants to engage, and I'm fine with that. I'm going to charge my thorax sword straight into his Principe Hastati mix. They're not going to do very well against Principe. Just look at my guys disappearing into the mass of red bodies here. I'm going to get a good charge on this Hastati unit, envelop it and destroy it fairly quickly, supporting fire with the Levi Thurio spears. I'm also going to use my mercenary Rhodians to try to inflict some casualties on this Principe. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best use of them, but in situations like this, they're going to do minimal friendly fire and maximum casualties to the enemy. So these Principe are dying fairly quickly. Over here, I'm setting up a flanking force, throwing in some javelins into the backs of these Hastati and Principe, so things are looking fairly decent. Here I am wasting a unit of citizen cavalry, and that was a very bad move by me. I'm just moving them over here. I was planning on swinging them around and stopping the archers for a minute, but I just missed micro there. And here I'm not giving attack orders on his general, another big mistake. So my first unit of thorax swordsmen is wavering. I'm going to have to send in these Levi Thurio spears for some rear charging and flanking. but he's starting to lose his principe as well. So I'm going to send in my elephants, but that is of course a big mistake since I hadn't dealt with these auxiliary Syrian archers. Now these elephants can take some fire, but they are definitely not Indian armored elephants, they are just war elephants. Still trying to get some kills here, rear charging, and their kills are going to rise fairly quickly. Nothing amazing, but decent, and now they're running amok in between my own units, but I don't have any really important units on the flanks here, so they're free to run amok for a bit, destroy more of his guys than mine. Sending in my Levithurios over here and my thorax swords against these auxiliary infantry, they should do well there. I managed to get a unit of citizen cavalry into his auxiliary Syrian archers, but I'm not quick enough in pushing them through to ensure they do enough casualties. And my Rhodians are firing at his principe, while my elephants are running amok, and I actually think I killed that elephant myself with slinger fire, so that's a pretty big mistake. So I'm sending the elephants in here against the Syrian archers just to stop them, but they were killed by missiles from this principe. And I've just run out of ammunition for my mercenary Rhodian slingers, and there's really not much I can do at this point. Since I lost my elephants and he has his archers left, a unit of cavalry or two, then I'm pretty much dead. My thorax swords died, and my Levithurios and remaining thorax aren't going to be able to kill what's left of his army here. So I made a few mistakes. The main mistake was, of course, sending in the elephants a bit too early. I should have dealt with the Syrian archers first, and then giving away that unit of citizen cavalry was pretty devastating as well. And around this point the insults start coming, like, well played noob. Yes, he spells noob. That's quite interesting. I'm still up 3-2 without having spammed a single game, which can't really be said for 2 plus 2 minus 3. This is a very heavy Principe spam. Principes are good units, and I will consider bringing equally spammy builds in the future against 2 plus 2 minus 3, just to annoy him. I can't really take games against players like him seriously, because one game you will have all infantry Pontus with chariots, and the next game you will have Roman infantry spam, so it looks like he has, and of course these auxiliary Syrian archers to deal with elephants. But let's have a look at the kills. These auxiliary cavalry did well by mopping up the remains of my mercenary Rhodian slingers. The Syrian archers didn't do too well, but the mercenary Rhodian slingers didn't exactly shine either, since I fired them into a melee blob. I killed almost 100 of my own guys, so I'm probably going to have to stop firing into melee blobs. Some of those casualties were from the African war elephants running amok, no doubt. Galatian swords did well, did a lot better than the Hastati. The Levithurios spears did pretty decent for their price, but these 6 thorax swords just could not hold the line against all of these Principe, and it's going to be really difficult to use one war elephant. I'm tempted to start using chariots, because there's so much infantry running around, and he wouldn't really have been able to stop chariots with this type of build, so kind of tempted to do it, but still, there are some things I could have done better and come out on top here. A lot of things actually, like using my cavalry to greater effect, using my war elephants to greater effect, and conserving my slingers there, not doing too much friendly fire. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.